What's the craziest thing you've seen a bridezilla do to her bridesmaid? The bride in the wedding I was in demanded that we not become friends with each other as if we were her sole property. This one's a doozy. The wedding was a year ago, and it's time to spill because the wildest developments happened months after the wedding. The bride and I were 23 at the time. I'd been friends with Samantha, or Sam, since middle school. I was asked to be a bridesmaid along with a high school friend of hers and 6 other girls I met through the wedding. There was one girl she asked to be a bridesmaid who said she was dealing with personal frustrations around relationships and she wouldn't be the best choice for a bridal party, which is admirably honest in my opinion, but Sam was annoyed, as if 8 bridesmaids isn't enough. Sam met her husband on Hinge. He's the only person she went on a date with from the app. They were boyfriend and girlfriend about 2 days after meeting up. She texted me that he told her she's the one on their second date. Nothing wrong with feeling someone's the one early on. Sometimes it really is love at first sight. But in my mind, it was a bit strange that he told her that out loud and right away, second date. It felt a little love-bomby. And it was only about a month or so in when she texted me that he was going to propose. She knew exactly when and where it was going to happen. Not just a suspicion of when he might pop the question, there was a plan. I found it a little odd that she sent me so many detailed updates about the relationship, but I thought, well, she's just really excited, she's happy. I think she was giving the timeline and all the details to quite a few people because a couple of friends raised concerns about the hastiness of things. She thought they were simply jealous. She'd mutter about friends not being able to get past their own envy to just be happy for you. In the lead up to the wedding and on the day of, she was kind of the stereotypical bridezilla, demanding of everyone, bossy, impatient with people, and yet expecting us to all be gushing with happiness for her, no matter how she was treating us. On the actual day, I tried to chalk her snapping at us up to nerves and the long day and to be understanding, but it was a trial. Other than that, everything went well and it was rather uneventful. Soon after that, I moved out of the city we'd both been living in to take a new job. What with the job search and packing to move, I was pretty busy, and I only saw her once for her birthday. I didn't honestly enjoy her company as much anymore because it was still, even after the wedding, exclusively conversation about her husband and the wedding photos. She didn't seem to care at all what was going on with me or any of her friends. And she also wasn't fond of hangouts that didn't include him, and that's just not the same as a girls' night. So a few months after I moved, she suggests we FaceTime and catch up. All is well until I mention in passing that I've been talking to a guy for a while, actually since before her wedding. Someone, in fact, at the company I took a job at, although his work and mine rarely overlap. She goes completely ice cold and silent until I stop talking about him. She's never acted that way about the crushes I've had in the past, but those were clearly not husband material. In fact, we'd laughed about some of those same little flings earlier in the conversation. With this new guy, things are more serious, and she did not look happy. I know that the whole reason she went on Hinge in the first place was due to the heartache of an unrequited work crush, so I thought, okay, maybe this is just reminding her of that pain. Or maybe she felt hurt that I didn't tell her about him sooner, but that's literally because she was too busy talking about her husband and the wedding to ask about anyone else's love lives or our lives in general. You could hardly get a word in edgewise from the time they met each other right through the wedding. So things were, I'd say, a little rocky in our friendship, and then I woke up to several paragraph-long texts from her accusing me of stealing her friend, one of the other bridesmaids. Now, what actually happened is I got scheduled to go to a professional development program in the city where Elaine, one of the bridesmaids, lived. And simply because that was random and felt like kismet, I texted her and asked if she wanted to meet up for drinks or dinner. That was it. And I wake up to scolding and accusations that I'm flying across the country to, quote, poach one of her friends. I text back, Elaine isn't your property for anyone to, quote, poach. That was it, short and direct. But later, taking pity because she was clearly very insecure, I attempted to add, it was just one dinner because it was so unusual that I would be in Elaine's neighborhood at all. And I discovered I had been blocked. I told Elaine what had happened, and when she tried to ask Sam about it, she discovered she was blocked. I mean, wow, we both spent a lot of money, especially Elaine, paying for cross-country tickets twice, once for dress fittings and then for the wedding, blocked because we were planning to meet up once. When I think back to how often Sam accused others of envy and jealousy, I realize now that she attributed that to others because she was constantly feeling it herself. The wedding was her one chance to compete, to be the center of attention, and with the wedding over, it looks to me like she's falling back into jealousy and envy again. I hope she someday realizes she's the problem so she can work on it. What happened kind of blows my mind, but we were friends a long time, so I do wish her well. Thanks for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed this reading, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Leave us a comment and let us know what kind of story you'd like to hear next. This is Tales by Rachel, where we breathe life into every story.